Hello everyone, this is Danish from jobskillshare.org. In our Discord community, we started something new and that's called testing yourself. So basically what it is, we have members and this is a free community by the way. We join into the Discord community and then we talk to each other, we help each other, we check your resume and basically we all help each other. And on top of that, we have labs where we can say, come on in, get to the room, and we start sharing our screen and we give the lab access to one of the users who really want to learn or want to test themselves. And this is for the entry level professionals who are new, who want to get into IT career. So basically what happened is that we'll say, okay, this is 4 or 5 virtual machines. Go ahead and create a domain controller. Go ahead and do this and this and that. And while maybe 10, 15 people are watching this person, there may be other professionals like KevTech, Steven IT, support, and so many other professionals. They join in and basically we give suggestions and we kind of test you. So the pressure is there. It's amazing. I apologize on this video because this video didn't came out to be very clear, but this was our first Discord video, and at that time everything was cool, but on video of course the quality was not that good, so I apologize on that. We will make sure that we get a clean quality next time. This was our first time. We learn from our mistakes, and that's how we learn technology. So when you join the Discord community, to make sure you look into this 4 steps right here. New members, you basically come on here, introduce yourself, who you are, what's your goals, what do you want to do, what's your next goal, what do you want to be in IT. So then we have so many different resources that we can basically tailor it. Okay, you should do this, you should do that. Whether it's free or paid, it doesn't matter. It's really your choice how you want to take this. We have tons of free courses, even full programs, so there shouldn't be any issue for you to get started. Second, we will go and create your plan. We're probably gonna look at your resume. If you feel like you're not getting any calls or anything like that, of course we're gonna have to help you out in this area. Then we have resources. Of course, this is where like people are gonna come and look at what we're doing today. This was a resource, perfect example what I'm about to show you in this video. And then we have this, contribute. Like, you don't have to spend money, you don't have to donate us or anything. Just come and contribute with other people. Try to share your skills. And basically, this is on the Vice channels. This is where we do skill testing room, and this is where we started today. And I'm going to upload this video. Let me know what you think about this video. If you learned something from this video and you want to do this kind of stuff, or even just normal stuff, want to get help or just make friends, come join this community. Click in the description link and just come on in, come join us. We're waiting for you right now. Just come on in. Thanks. One that I gave you, exactly the same thing, this code in the password. Nice one. That's just the password. Okay. So now, okay, so here's the deal. You got, okay, just do this. First of all, let us know what do you see as a person. If I tell you and show you something like this, what do you see over here? Like, as a technical person, when you see something like that, what's the first thing that you see here? Okay, so the bunch of machines are named with domain controller, help desk, home, and a staff username. So here's a scenario I'll go for you. I am a business owner. I have a small office, and I just bought 4 machines for my staff. Sorry, 3 machines for my 3 staff members. Okay, you're going to be the help desk, and you're going to be managing 2 staff members. And I tell you what, that look, Abdul, I want you to do something so I think we can manage these machines. So, what's your solution right here? What would you do to manage these machines? Okay, okay. So, why do you call this a domain controller? What's in the domain controller that you want to call a domain controller? Okay. Does anybody else have a better answer than this? Why do we call this a domain controller? It has an active directory, right? So Abdul, you missed a pretty important thing right here, right? Active directory was like the core of managing all these machines. I know server managers in a work group server too, right? When you buy a normal work group server, it does have server manager, right? But it doesn't have what? It doesn't come by default. It doesn't come with what? Active directory. Good job. So now here's the thing. What I want want you to do is this is going to be your job right now. Even though, just for people to learn this, you're not going to be responsible of creating domain controllers, by the way. This is a sysadmin job. But by watching Abdul do it, or you do it, you get to understand how client and server client works in a normal business environment. So you've got to understand this. Once you understand this, the rest of the stuff becomes very, very easy for you. Troubleshooting becomes easy for you. So Abdul, first of all, I'm going to show you some few tips in this lab. So on the right side, all the way to the right side, you see those 4 blocks? All the way to the right side, your right side, your right hand. Yep. Click on those. And now make it large. Click on that medium, make it large. Like on the bottom, it says, yeah, go ahead large so everybody can see them. And now what I want you to do, click on the settings on the left side in the middle. There's a settings right there. In the middle there, you click on that. And make sure you beef up this to the 100%, and like click on that 20% and see if you have 90%. Go ahead and click on that. And click on that percentage right there, make it to the 100%. Okay, it's fast. So what this does is this: if somebody has a very slow connection, these labs kind of bring themselves down to a slow, or you can make it very fast. So now I want you to do is this: click connect all. Click on connect all on the left side. All right. So we don't need the left panel. I want you to hide it. On the top, there's a button. On the right side, blue button. Hide that panel. All the way to the right side. All the way to the right top. Right top. Top down. Click on that. So now you have full screen, right? So now, based on your knowledge, how many machines are client and how many machines are server over here? And to get into these machines, by the way, you right click and you click on desktop. You're going to right click on any machine and get into the desktop. Yeah, just click on the desktop. So I want you to show me which one is a server and which one is a client, but not by just visually. I want you to prove it to me. Yes. Okay, so you say 3 clients without proving it. How did you figure out that other 3 are clients over here? Okay. All right. Good job. Why is this a client? I'm not asking you if this is one word group or domain. Why is this a client? Why am I calling it a client? Show me the proof of why this is a client. There you go. So you need to understand what client is what? Operating system. And when people say that in their description, you need to know server client technology, right? A lot of people put that. You just need to understand that that's just server and Windows operating systems or anything that connects to the server, right? So in here, you need to just find out if this is a Windows operating system, what version, what it is. Is it 10? Is it server? What is that? Perfect. Do you know any command to prove this? That's fine, no problem. You can type WinVer and it's going to show you that. So if you type WinVer, just type WinVer together, Intern, and it's going to pop up. There you go. Does it tell you? Okay, good. So you guys learned something new. So go ahead and close that and show me on the server that how do you prove that on the server and that this is the server. So let's go back. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Right click, desktop. You already know by looking at the screen, right? It has a server manager, I'm sure, but some people will disable server manager. It doesn't come up by default, but I can stop it not come up, right? And then it exactly looks like a Windows, right? And they can instantly know that you don't know about servers if you mess up something like this, right? So now let me ask you, is this server a domain controller yet? It says on the top domain controller. Right on the top. Look at the text.
top. On the top. What's the name of the server? On the top. Go up, go up, go above. Like go above this VM. Just go above with the whole frame. Yeah, so it is a domain controller, right? Why did you say that? Anybody can answer this. Is this a domain controller? Yes or not? Why? Active Directory, but I know, but you didn't even see the Active Directory. I mean, Active Directory could be there right now. He didn't show that. How would you prove that to me that this is not a domain controller? Oh, who said that? Jeremy, you're the best. Okay, so this is still on the work group, right? So here's the thing: the goal of this is not to say that you know or you don't know. By the way, the goal of this is that this is so basics that people can instantly inside reject you. By the way, right? Because if somebody wanted a little bit of more experienced person, this is so basic that they may be like, wow, I need to teach this person extreme basics right here. And if you were to land that level one-ish, level two-ish job, and you say that on your resume that you know Active Directory, you know Office 365, and there you go, you got a conflict going on, right? Because our resume only works when you basically uh, show some basics. Okay? So make sure you don't take anything personal. I'm building this for you to learn. And for anybody who's listening to me right now, that this is extreme basics. So make sure you guys don't jump into conclusion because I said that there's a text available out there. But remember, in any virtualization, in any type of labbing systems or any type of online systems, the coding where it says the frame or they give you the name on top of those machines are not the name of the actual machine. So someone can trick you or someone can say, oh, this is a domain controller. They may be just saying that, yeah, that is a domain controller. You can clearly tell them that this is not a domain controller. I can show it to you right there. This isn't working. So now here's the thing, because we gave you the task that we want to manage all these machines, so what do you need to do first? What's the first thing you need to do in this server? Install Active Directory. So now for the purpose of to make this lab simple, we're not going to go into networking. Let's assume somebody already worked on DNS, someone worked already on static IP addresses. You don't need to worry none of that stuff yet. That's just still advanced stuff, and we're not going to get into it. How would you turn the server into an Active Directory? Okay, go ahead and show it to me. How would you do that? All right, all right, good job. Okay, all right, good. All right, good job. Yeah, we don't need that. Mhm. All right, good. All right, good job. All right, perfect. So does everybody agree that this is how a domain controller will work in a lab environment? Of course, we're not talking about making it a perfectly done domain controller. That's going to be total different scenario right here. But what do you guys think? Is this okay for the lab? Does anybody have a suggestion? Or do you guys think he will be successful? Nice. I think so too. All right, so now we're gonna wait on this to come up, and then of course you're gonna have to do something to make it a domain controller. While that's happening, let's go ahead and log into the other client machines so we're ready for those machines. So let's go ahead and right click and on the ones that are not logged in, maybe this one is okay. And the password is, man, you don't forget about the machine's password. So on the left bottom, you see the control on the, you can just click on send. And the password is just this one. Try this one first because I password that I gave you. Try this, okay? Try this if it works. If not, then we can get a new machine. It should be okay. And that's 0, okay? No, it's okay. I mean, I don't hear it that much. Yeah, so that's a good question. So once I think one I don't know if you were there the first computer we basically did that like to show it's a client, but that's a good question. So maybe yeah, this is you asked. So how would you verify that? Yeah, go ahead and log in. So and your server is ready too, by the way. So that's a good question. And I forgot your name again. Is it Jeremy or Jerry? Man, for some reason I don't see. For some reason, it's like when somebody talking, you don't see who's talking here. Like I see myself, but there's so many people right now, so I can't. Sorry about that. All right, so okay, log into this machine and then verify or show us. Let's say this is your interview question, and somebody's asking you, how would you verify that this machine is on domain or is on work group? How would you do that? You can log in after logging in. That's fine. I mean, even when you look at this like this, even if it is not logged in, you should be able to say that this is a domain or not, right? Is that correct, everybody? Why not? So even if we have other users, and sometimes if you log into the local account, it does not show you anything like domain name. It may just show you the user. So you may have to see if somebody did something. But most of the time, when you log in with another user, it does give you on the bottom that which part of the domain this computer is joined to. So it's a very easy way to find out. But if you can't figure it that way, or somebody who's already logged into the machine and want to test you, then of course you need to then find out more of a practical way to show me that this is on the domain. So go ahead and log into this machine and tell me what's going on with this. I think I if I saying something, I'm not getting those messages, but you guys look at her message. I think she's managing this whole new. All right, let's go back, upload and promote that server and finish off that Active Directory stuff. Yes, sir. Go ahead. And now, so oh, hold on. What are you doing here? You're typing something in here. So what would you do? Ah, okay. So you can just put it like HQ dot coffee. Captain, you see this? Chai dot coffee. All right. So now just use any password over here. That's fine. We're gonna trash this anyway. No, we're not doing any of this. Just go ahead. All right. So chai. Nice. Okay. Good job. Um, let's go ahead and finish that up, and then we can move on to the clients. So let's go ahead and move on to the clients. It's gonna take a second. All right. So now how would you, just like what Steven says, how would you verify that this machine is on domain or not? Okay. Okay, that's one way. Does anybody know any other ways? Ah, good job. I feel like this is one of my live members because this is the only command that I teach in live. The only command. So when you do that, what makes you think that it's not on domain? What's the, like, what does it tell you? Where do you get to verify that? The path of it, because the path of it is a computer slash local account, right? It doesn't tell you check off in there, right? But can you get a solid message out of this? Can you say, okay, show me if this is really a on this username is on domain or not? Can you find a command like that? So if you type who am I think it's Harry can help you. Is it forward slash or backslash? There you go. Space. You gotta do space. You gotta do space. You gotta do space. FQDN. Enter. What does it tell you? Read it up. Ah, so this is a very cool command, by the way, for people. Sometimes the computer may be on the domain, and you may log in as a local user, and then they will complain, or you may have an issue as an IT person because you may not be, you may not be technical enough in the beginning, and you may be doing certain things like that, and you may get errors. Why am I not able to get Active Directory on, Active Directory user management tool on it? Why is this not working? Why is that not working? This is the best way, the best command to find out if that profile that you're logged in is actually on the domain. Okay. So, okay, this is done. You already proved that to us. You know this stuff. So let's go back to your domain and see where you are. And then, what I want you to do, okay, I think we need to restart on that. Right click and go to desktop. And go ahead and install. Oh man, we should have done this. By the way, so when this is done, so that's good. Seems like you know a lot of this stuff. Like you already know the concepts. You already know how to get into the server manager. You already know how to get into Active Directory stuff. Um, I'm feeling confident about you right now at this point. If I was going to take your test, I have a good, I'm feeling that, okay, this person doesn't require too much to learn in the beginning. He's going to be like self-motivated person. I would be able to give him tasks, and I think he should be able to do it himself. But if, let's say, for example, you were the person like, okay, so how do I open Server Manager? I don't know about promoting a server. I don't know about getting into the machine. This means you have done some theoretical understanding, theoretical learning, and this means heading for you, right? As a person who's going to be hiring you, now from your perspective, you should be thinking, man, this is such a BS, right? Why can't this person hire me? I'll learn it. But you have to also understand, put yourself in my shoes, that if I have 500 people and I have few technicians, I'm not going to hire somebody that I'm going to be spending so much of my time and energy and my other tech's energy to train you from scratch. I'm going to be looking for a person who's a little bit technical and not just, okay, you know customer service pretty good, so you're going to learn everything. Now that's I'm not saying that that's not going to work. It's going to work, but the chances of you getting the job is going to be what? It's going to be shortlisted, right? You're not going to get that kind of opportunity if somebody else comes with this kind of skills. So you really need to. This is why we focus a lot on basic skills versus just not knowing anything and having the concept of, okay, just go with a passion. I love passion. I love technology. I love this and I'll do it everything. But that's not all about that, right? It's about me in my life too and how I'm gonna be dealing with you, right? So go ahead and restart this. So anybody have any comment on this? So go ahead and promote this server to the domain. So anybody else have a, because this is guys, this is for everybody. This is just a fun session, so everybody can talk. This is not some professional testing. Yes. FQDN, fully qualified domain name. All right, so now the server has restarted. But if you look at your labs, the server is gone out of here, right? So of course, in our lab system, we give you the VM backend access too, just for people to, if they're looking for like, okay, can I use these kind of labs? We give a backend access, so then there's not going to be like you calling Danish or some support guys like, hey guys, I lost my server, where it is right now, so help me out, right? So we're going to give you a VM access later on, but that's something I have not released, by the way. It's something later on I'm going to talk about it. But for now, you just have to wait for the server to come up. Since you just did a domain controller installation, so it may take a little bit more than normal or usual. It will come up because the agent is going to kick in. And there you go. The server just came up right now. There's an agent that's actually looking for this port and this address and this protocol. It comes up and say, okay, I'm available right now. Let me in. So go ahead and right click on it and log into the server and now prove it to us that how is this a domain controller? What's the biggest thing that you can show us that this is a domain controller? Good job. But you cannot do the command line from here. We got to log in, right? Perfect. So that's good. And I'm glad that these systems are working fine. They're not, I thought maybe slow with that many people on. Okay. So now we have a domain controller running. Good job, right? You're gonna go to your CEO. I got my system up and running. Let me work on my users now. So the first thing you need to verify, and when you become a tech support in any company, by the way, what is the first machine that's going to be given to you? What's the first machine? Is it going to be user or is it going to be you? They're going to give you a machine. They're going to give you a laptop. Now, this is a very major thing for people to understand, and I made a whole lab on this, by the way. You need to first understand your own machine before you get into troubleshooting other machines, right? So now answer this one question for anybody. If you were working in this company and there was a sysadmin, would this company let you log into the domain controller, yes or no, as a help desk? Nope, nope. I get a lot of nope, right? Okay. So if they don't let you access to this, if they don't want to give you access to this domain controller, I think is my camera on? Let me turn on my beautiful face so you guys can see my face too, man. There you go, beautiful face here. So okay, guys, if they don't let you access to the domain controller, then what do you have to do? How would you manage users? Ah, I think this is a who said that? Is this a student or is this some? I heard this. I heard this. I heard this voice like 10 million times, man. Okay, so here's the thing, Abdul. Did you know that? You heard? Okay, you heard of it, but you did not had anything like that. Now here's the thing. Again, if you were to be hired as a level one, this is a very common skill. Again, you need to know why because it's your machine. You gotta support other users, right? So if this is on your resume, people are going to be comfortable with you. If you are going to go into the interview and somebody throws this question to you right now, then I'm not going to give you the domain controller access. I know you said that you have done in the lab, you get Active Directory, and usually I can test people like that. I'm saying, okay, tell me, I'm not going to give you the domain controller access. How would you manage the machines? Even though you have my admin access, but I don't want you to log into my domain control. You're going to say what? I'm going to use our site tool to actually manage machines. Now here's the thing: you're not going to use some third-party tool over here. Why is that? Because the person may not know about third party, right? You may not even like that answer. Why would you even bring third-party tools? We don't want you to install or or connect something to our domain controller and manage it from third-party tools unless we give it permission. But RSAT is a well-known, it's known thing in the studies, known thing in A+. Yes, they show that too in A+. So you should know this. So now here's the thing. First of all, show it to me and prove to me how is this a domain controller. Okay, that's fine. That's just the name of this machine. But where does it say that it is a domain controller? You may not see that. Okay. I think you spaced it a little bit more than who am I? FQDN, not P. Can you type P? F, fully qualified domain name. Okay, that's just telling you that this is an administrator account and this user is a part of our user's container, and then the AC, the domain control name is Java. Where can you just show it to me that, okay, you know what, let me just prove it to you by something more like where we manage things. Server managers on all servers. Look on the left side, what does it say? 80 what? Look on the left side, it says 80 EX, right? And it is running in Active Directory domain services, right? Now show it to me, how would you open Active Directory on a server? What's the second way? So you can also search administrative tools, right? If you search that right now, I'm just going to search administrative because that's where we're going right now, right? We're going to need to learn about administrative tools. So administrative tools has what? It has Active Directory users and computers. So when you open it, go ahead and open it. Now we are shifting our skills to the help desk skills, right? So this piece is done by the way for people. This is done by a sysadmin in the company. You do not touch this. You do not create this stuff in the company. If somebody makes you do that as a help desk, that person lost their mind, right? So if they do that, they do it. That's their personal choice, but this is not your skill. No way that's going to be a help desk level 1 skills, okay? But this is your skills right here. You need to know what this is. You need to know how to navigate between Active Directory. This is basic stuff. If you know this, you're good. You're gold. You're in demand right there because this is such a common skill that we use in many companies that even if they're using some different version or different type of like for example, if they're using Linux like Zentel, they have actually an Active Directory system in Linux, just like Active Directory. If they're using Zentel to manage all the servers and machines, still they're going to respect you because you know something that's very common in the industry. So we call this what in our platform we call this what in-demand skills. So you pick that skill, you put it on your resume, and there you go. Your resume start screaming to people that check me out. I have something better. I have something unique going on. That idea, if you use that, if you use smart thinking like that, your resume start talking for you. This is the reason why or people say, hey, I'm getting a lot of responses because of this resume. But can you now defend that resume, right? Because you're going to put all this stuff on your resume, can you even defend it? Does that make sense? So what I want you up to, I'm not sure if you're stuck already there. Okay. So what I want you up to, create a username, and this is going to be a sysadmin creating a help desk account. This is how it works in the companies. Before they hire you, somebody else add you, right? Because since in this company, let's say we have only an administrator, the CEO, or whatever, he's going to be adding you, so you're going to be doing that mock kind of thing. So go ahead and add yourself as a help desk in this Active Directory environment, and add yourself to a domain admin group. So I'm asking you, do you know how to add a user in Active Directory? Do you know how to add a user to a domain admin group? Two things I'm asking you. Yeah, just David help us here. Same password. Wow, we got a lot of people, man. All right, so properties, and then oh, I'm not gonna say anything. Remember, you can use the hotline, but would you give up that easy, right? Ah, oh. Who can correct him? Why are you doing groups? So adding to group policy. Ask and use your hotline. Okay. So you gotta you giving this person a lot of powers right now. Let me ask you something. If I say that I want you to find how many people are in the domain admin group, how would you do it? Yes. Okay. So this is a good that you know this. What other tips somebody can give him that what is he doing that I'm noticing about him? Can anybody notice that too? What's that? Can anybody? I want to see if anybody notices what he's doing. Perfect. But what was his thing? What is his thing from the beginning? From he's doing what? What kind of things he's using that he's going for it? He's going for it. What's that? What's that thing? I wanna basically focus on a very good skill out here that you really need to master. Anybody? No. So it's not technical. It's not technical. It's something in him that he's doing something. Ah, there you go. Abdul. So this is something for you and for your career development. Always wait. When somebody sends you a ticket, nobody expects you to respond right away. If you do that, you're going to have painful IT life in your career and in your future. I can guarantee you that, and I'll write it down for you. If you do that, if you respond immediately, interview questions, tickets, anything in your life, that's anything that requires you to think a little bit more technical and you want to wait, you always want to wait and analyze. If you would have analyzed your screen before you even clicking in here to search and you did like 4 or 5 steps to get into this, if you answered everything, domain admin was right in front of you, right? So wait on things, and that's something I told Haifa too when she started training with me. She was like, like, she was like answering me. I'm like, wait up, did you even see the error? Did you actually check what the error is saying? Then she slowly developed this slowness. So slow down, don't worry. There's nothing wrong with being slow in IT. I'm the slowest person in IT, by the way. So when you slow down, you do things properly. You're not slow. You see what happened to you. You did it the hard way. You went the longer route. You could have done that in a second, right? No wrong, nothing wrong with that. It's just that I'm teaching you something that's gonna help you a lot in this career. This career is about that. Okay, just waiting, analyzing, you got it. You didn't find something right in front of the screen. Most of the errors are usually right in front of you, and then you move on to the next step. Does that make sense? Perfect. So now that you have added the help desk in the Active Directory, then now let's change it to a little more for the real world scenario. You knock the door on Monday. Welcome, Abdul. Glad to have you in our business and our company. Hey, this is your laptop. You told me on your resume that you know Active Directory, you know Office 365, and I love what you put on your resume. I'm so impressed with you. Here's your laptop. This is your work group laptop. You said that. You said that because that's what you did in the interview. This is your laptop. Go ahead and open your help desk machine in this VM, and I want you to convert that into a domain machine. I want to see how you do that. You got the username. They're gonna give it to you, right? You as helped us. You sat down with me. You had a really nice chat with me. I gave you the username and password. Abdul, you said that you know level 1 stuff. Here's the machine. This is your powerful machine. This is your powerful access. Do whatever you want to do. You can use tools because you're a technician. You're allowed to use tools. Go ahead, try it. So go to the help desk machine right now. Uh-huh. So that's you right there. Congratulations, you're on the job right now. Captech, $150,000 in our fake money. $150,000, bro. This is called Jace's golden text. All right. You're moving great. Okay, perfect. Wait. Okay, no. Captain, let him try this. What he's gonna get, right? Or you want to ask him something else? Yeah, he did. Try that coffee, right? Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, why would you change it? It's already said one W10, like a one version of W10, right? That's fine. It's just gonna add it to whatever name you name. There you go. So what should you do? Yeah, you're gonna ask the interviewer. Yeah, where did that box come from? That's a good point. Where did that box come from? Yeah, that's a good. Okay, that's a good great question. So this is what I'm gonna do right here. Abdul, are you there? Sorry, my. Okay, guys. Abdul, are you there? Okay. So Abdul, I'm gonna take over your machine right now. I just took over. Okay. Just give me 1 second. So I'm gonna do this. Move away from this screen. Like, go to the main screen with 3 machines. There are 3 machines out there. So go back to like a domain controller. Yeah, there you go. And go ahead and click on. Go back. Sorry, go back to the main screen and click on that machine, that help desk machine. Just click on it. Just click on it. Like inside, just click on it. Yeah, okay. Now don't click on it. I want to do something. I want you to see what I'm doing. Basically, that's what I want to make it more spicy with what Steven is saying. Because that's a very good question. I mean, it's not going to be this easy, right? Unless they made it, somebody did a good job at networking. Yeah, that's how it should be. But it's not going to be that easy, by the way. So I'm actually going to go back to. I like Abdul have some special powers that he can see what I'm doing right now. So go ahead, Abdul, go ahead and open it again now. And now try to connect to the domain now. Why is it not working? Wait, whoa, hold on. Didn't you try the same exact thing before? What should you do as a technical person? You got the error. What should you do right now? Remember what did we tell you before? That you wait, analyze, right? Then what do you have currently? As a tech person, what are something that's available to you? Good job. So what's in the details? What's going on? But you are a domain admin. So what's going on here? Nope, nope, nope. It's not. It's not. It's what's that? Sorry. Yeah. What's under there? Let's check that out. So what's it's telling you? What makes sense to you? So do you? It's your skill test right here. Remember, people may say that you don't need to know about advanced stuff, but people can definitely test you what that means or this specific skill is going to. What does DNS mean? Do you even understand what normal DNS is? Like what's that? Just basic level, extreme basic level. So what's going on? What makes so much sense to you? That because in your resume, if you're using our resume, in one of the sections you say, I know DNS, DHCP, I know this stuff just by knowing it. So they're gonna say, okay, just tell me what is DNS. Just give me the basic example, right? They're just gonna definitely ask you. They're not gonna say, have you ever built a DNS server? Have you ever did some replications on DNS? Have you ever did a backup restore on DNS? No, nothing like that, right? They're not gonna do that. But here, there's a problem going on. So who can help you? Remember, I'm not gonna help you with anything. It's you can ask anybody to help you. But here's another thing that you just mentioned. You said that you looked at the error and you said that it's intended for network administrator. That doesn't mean anything to people. That's what Windows is saying. But Windows, yeah, you're, yeah, you're not gonna take a screenshot of this and send it to your network administrator. He's gonna be like, what the hell are you doing? Right? Go ahead. First of all, you should think about what are you doing over here, right? So go back to the core of your issue. You're trying to connect a client to the server, right? No. You see, you already did that part and you got the prompt, so now you're confusing yourself. You already did that. You passed that. You passed that. The name is correct. And you can, if you want to verify, go back to the Active Directory and check what your Active Directory right there. It's right on the Active Directory for visual people, for GUI people. It's right there on your Active Directory. If you're ever confused about the domain name, the net BIOS, just go to Active Directory. It's right there. It's not going to be slashes. It's not going to be slashes. It's going to be exactly what you just typed. So use your hotline, ask somebody to help you out because, okay, I'm going to make it a little easy. Because networking is not done in these labs the way it should be done in the real companies, which is routers. Let me make it easy for you. When you install that Active Directory, by the way, that domain controller was a standalone domain controller. It needed its own DNS. Does that make sense to you? So that domain controller is its own DNS right now. So I want you to do one thing. I want you to go and do ipconfig/all. You know what that is, right? Don't tell me you don't know that, because if you don't know that, you probably failed this whole interview. So now I want you to focus attention over here. Look at the IP addresses, and then I want you to go down and find the DNS server. What is the DNS server IP address? Okay, how would you verify that? I already told you, you have a new DNS now. How would you verify that? What am I talking about? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Can anybody else help him out? Because I already told him that a domain controller has its own DNS now. So there's something happening over here. For a technical person, how would you troubleshoot that? First of all, you want to verify if it says that DNS, I cannot reach that DNS. So there's something going on with the DNS. So anybody can help? Perfect. There you go. Anybody else? Is that correct, right? Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that because it's still the same network, so it should give you some reply. You're going into your domain, you're gonna run it. That's not it. Okay, okay. Hold on. Is that an IP address? Is that an IP address? These are not mine, but this is basics. It's a loopback. What does it mean? It's looping to where? If you look at the screen and I ask you this question, that address is looping where? What will be your answer without doing anything? Look at your screen. I want you to give me an IP address for this server. It has two IP addresses. So verify those two IP addresses. Exactly. So that loop address is looping where? To the IPv4. Okay? The IP address is looping back to your IPv4, IPv6. Does that make sense? Does anybody else have anything on this, or is this okay? Okay, so that seems to be okay. So now what should you do? What should you capture from here and go back to fix this issue? You already know now what is the issue going on, right? Your client has a different DNS. Your lab DNS that you're trying to connect is different. So how do you fix this issue in this lab, by the way? Change something in the adapter. What is that something? And how do you get to the adapter? Show it to us. Where are you having issue? Are you having issue with the domain controller, or are you having issue with the client? And at the end, I'm going to ask everybody, would you guys hire him as an intern, or would you guys hire him as a full-time employee? Okay, so guys, please. No, we're seeing Anybody else having the same issue? Yeah, you may just rejoin. So good job. What you're doing right now, this is another very common skill that every single tech must know. Like, if you don't know how to get into network adapters, doing static IP addresses, dynamic IP addresses, you cannot work with sysadmins. You cannot work with network engineers. This is gonna blow their mind. If they call you, hey, put this static IP address for me, and you're like, oh, where do I put this, right? Then you have a problem, right? So what should you do? What should you change over here that can make this issue go away? Now remember, this is just in this lab. You're not going to do this in a real environment, because in a real environment, your networking is already set now. Your DNS is already set. Your computer is already talking to the DNS. They're already talking to the DHCP from the routers and switches and the DHCP servers, Windows servers. They're done. That's what sysadmin is going to be doing. Network engineer is going to be doing. Here in this lab, you need to learn a skill to how to force this machine to talk to that domain controller and get away from that other DNS. So how would you do that? Well, so why would you pick? So why would you pick the first option? Why would you pick the first option? Are you having an issue with the IP addresses? Are you not on the same network? DNS. So why would you pick the first option? The first option is uh, that's coming from where? What is that thing that you need to know? Where is it coming from? What do we call that? If you know about DNS, what's the other thing? DHCP. Does anybody know what DHCP stands for? So now what you need to put it in. Give it a try. What are some other ways he can get this thing, get this IP address? Does anybody else know? Like if he's on that client machine, he's not gonna, like I said in the beginning, he's not gonna have access to a domain controller. So, what other things would you guys suggest he should do to get this IP address? Anybody? Yeah, he can simply ping this machine, because remember, it's on the same network. They are gonna talk to each other, right? He's getting an IP address if it's not even getting the full ping. Even if it's dropping out, it's still going to give you the address, right? So if you just type the DC2 and there's going to be the address, but here you go, you got the address, go type it out. Why? Whoa, hold on. So why did you type that one? Yes, exactly. Because that's not, when people ask you what is an IP address of this machine, you cannot say that it's a loop address, that's the IP. You're just saying that this machine name is this machine, right? You're not saying anything else on it. You're not giving any number on it. It has its unique number. That's the IP address, right? So go ahead and type the right IP address. But while you're listening to me, I'm gonna, before I forget, you definitely need to know and go back and learn about basic IP addresses, or how IP addresses work. Okay? Very good. There you go. That's another mistake. Just put 8888. That's a Google DNS. Just put 8888. Oh, hold on. One more. No, no. Oh, there you go. One. Okay. So So now what I want you to do is I want you to try the same process and try to connect this machine to the domain. But that's awesome. But how many things do we learn from this, right? We found out that there's a pretty big weakness in a very core area, right? So from $150,000, we just dropped to $100,000. But we're still having an issue. What's going on over here? So what should you do right now? You're still having an issue as a technical person. You're going, you did something, then you should do some verification again, right? Did you do a mistake somewhere? You have it open. Don't worry, just take it easy. So what should you verify with? Verify something over here. Let's verify. What's the main thing you should verify over here? But how would you verify it? I mean, you're just seeing this by looking at this blank screen. What can you verify? Okay. No, I mean, you're just finding out the IP address of this machine. You need to verify the client IP that you're putting the domain IP with the domain itself. So make sure that that's the correct IP first. Just make sure that is it correct or not. Just make sure that that's okay. Okay, try it. Type ping, ping, space, and what's the name of that machine? Do you remember? I don't either, so you have to go back and just find the name. It's probably DC2. I'm not sure. Maybe just do it. Or just do this PC. You can do verify DC2. And you have it right in front of you too. Just try to see if the ping works. All right. What's going on, people? I think so too. It should work, by the way. Close this too, yeah. Wow. So you didn't click OK. This is what I'm thinking, basically. I think you guys agree with this. You didn't click all the way and finish that. Okay. So did you figure this out? Like, why did you do this whole process? You need to understand that your computers can only work if you have a proper web running. This process that you did, connecting a machine to a server so that the client server can talk to each other, what is this one thing that you think should be properly working? DNS, domain controller itself, it could have an issue, it could be shut down, it could be many other issues. So if you see some issues like that, that's where things are going to happen. But the error was very specific on DNS, right? It didn't say that you have a password issue. It didn't say that you have some other crazy issue going on. It didn't say that you are using the same image. Usually a lot of techs do this. They image the same machines like 50 times, and they bring it to the office and they try to connect machines to the domain controller, and the machine started having issues. Why? Because they did not system update. It's something that you will learn later. Not just. So go ahead and add this machine to the domain. And that, yeah, that's how you got it right. desktop as a network engineer, I have nothing to do with desktops. If the dev did 400 desktops, it's going to be all you, right? So what's his mistake now? And make sure you wait this time. You put this for the password, don't click OK. Make sure let people look into this. And here's the thing, don't use that administrator account. You already have an account. Yep. Oh, what's going on here, guys? So he did something, right? So this is Active Directory for you right there, Abdul. How would you fix that? Perfect example. Perfect Active Directory example right there. How would you fix this issue? No. Fix this issue. You can't sign into a machine, try to change the password, come back into it. That's okay. That's kind of like a tricky way, but that's not a fix. Okay, good job. What you gonna do all that? What do you think? What did you do? What did you do? Where did you do the mistake? Where did you do the mistake in the beginning? What makes you think? Analyze something. Create a new account for me. Create a very new account. I'll show you your mistake right now. Yeah, you can. You can. Put a password in there. Let's find his mistake right now. And go. Did you find your mistake? Okay, now fix your mistake. How would you fix it on help desk? Aren't you too fast again? Okay, right click on it again, and I want you now to wait. You're going too fast. Here we go. Right click on it again. Right click again. Right click again. Wait, analyze. What options do you have? Give it a try. No, that's not gonna work. Anybody else? Right click on it again. On the wrong account. I want you to focus. I want you to focus. I want you to go one by one from the top right now. I want no, just read it out. Copy. Is this something? No, right? Go down, go down. what do you see? Right, the fourth option. What's the fourth option? Click on it. If you didn't know this basic stuff in Active Directory, if I was going to look for somebody who's not going to give me a headache, I won't hire you. Simple as that. I mean, I'm being realistic, right? Guys, you guys agree? I'm being realistic. Why would I train somebody on something extreme basics like this? Again, if I was looking for somebody more experienced, and your resume sounded pretty sweet to me, right? Because you say you have Active Directory user management certificate or learning, right? So I feel like this stuff is should be a piece of cake for you. So I hired you based on that knowledge, right? So now what should you do to fix this issue? Go ahead. So go ahead and fix this issue. Let's see if it works now. Great job. Perfect. So what did you do right now? Computer domain. Perfect. Great job. So this is a very common interview questions. Can you join a computer domain? So either it would be more verbally, people will ask you, or people will actually test you with two machines, just like what I just did. And it's a very technical interview. They can just give you machines. There you go. You got the password. Fix it. Now restart this machine with a domain, and what I want you to do is restart this machine and then log in as you. And with that, I am going to ask you a few questions. So go ahead and restart this machine and log in as helpless. So now you log in as a technician first for this new job, and you need to understand your core things, how things are working, because that's what's going to save you in the future, right? So when you restart this machine, go ahead and go back to your normal machine. This is going to go away again. It's going to come back up again. So where do you verify that this machine is now a part of a domain controller? Give it a shot. Did you edit the server? Did you edit the client? Who can help him out? On the server, where would you verify? Yeah, where's the computer? Where is that computer? Ah, there you go. So that's where your computer is now, right? So of course this computer is being what now? Is being managed. Does that make sense? When they ask you, do you know about server client technology? This is exactly what they're asking you at your level. Does that make sense? If somebody asked me that day, what do you mean by domain and work? What do you mean by server and client? They're the same thing, right? Domain and client, server. Okay. So now, when you have this running, I want you to log in to the computer as a help desk. And that should be up again. There you go. And now I want you to log into this machine as yourself because you're going to be. There you go. That's a good question. So they said this computer was dropped from the domain, and you need to log in as a local user. You don't see that admin one account. How would you even log in as a local account? Because you need to know the computer name, right? Computer name. Find the computer name. What's the computer name? Oh, too fast. job. So that's the computer name, by the way. And it happens a lot in the company, by the way. Computer will lose security, trust, this problem of the domain for many reasons. Okay, so now what I want you to do is to log in with the help desk account in an Active Directory account. Not a local account. I want you to log into this machine with the help desk account. You don't need to put that. You don't need to put that. It's already there. It's already in the bottom. So now you're logged in to what account? No, I mean this account is coming from where? And of course, if I ask you now, when this machine, when you're on this profile, how can you prove it to me that you are logged in on a domain account? What would you do to prove it to me, to show it to me some way or some text way, and that this is a part of the domain? I know you logged into it, but I just want you, once you're logged into the machine, I want you to use some command or something like that to show it to me that you are part of the domain. Okay? Alright, so now we're inside the computer, and I want you to show me how do you prove that this is a part of the domain. By the way, guys, this is exactly what I teach in my live training. So that's what I do. Exactly the same. You guys are getting the same level of training that I do in my live training. Alpha is my live member here. Harry is my live member here. That's exactly what I do. So what did you just prove over here? You proved it, right? Chai slash help desk, and there's a member of that specific domain. Okay? So what I want you to know is that, okay, so if I ask you, how would you verify, can somebody go mute, whoever that is? Okay, so, okay, so here's the thing, what I want you to do, can someone go mute, I don't know if somebody can mute that person. Alright, Steven, go mute, man. Let me see if I can everybody mute themselves and then we'll just let them talk for now. Probably got mad, I guess. Sorry. Alright, so what I want you to do is this. I want you, this is a scenario. You don't have access to the domain controller. And I want you to now add a new user because that's your job. You got the first ticket in your ticketing system. You need to add KevTech or you need to add Steven hyphen. And now you got this computer. You got a lot of access. How would you add them without getting access to a domain control, which is not going to be possible in the real world environment? Good job. And how do you install more site on Windows 10? Can anybody help him? Add and remove programs. So how do you get into add and remove programs? Good job. Alright. So look on the left side. It says apps and features, right? Click on it. Oh, it's already clicked. Go up again. Sorry. Go up all the way. And look on optional features. It's not going to be there. It's not already. It's not. These applications are already in this computer, right? So what do you need to do over here? You need to actually find those features. So you have to do what? searching what? Hold on. Look at the text on the top. What does it say? Install. So you're gonna do what? Add feature. There you go. Now, what you need to do is you need to find our SAP, right? How do you find it? There you go. It's right there. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. You gotta wait and just see which one it is. So which one it is, guys? What do you guys think? No. There you go. That's the one. Okay. Make sure you remember that. Install. That's that's the perfect, great tip right there. And you guys can see Abdul's issue right here. He's too fast, right? And he's still kind of like fast with things. And that's one of the things Abdul you have to work on to get better. Okay. Yes. That that's something I gotta definitely give you that. Now your confidence level is definitely there. That's one of the best quality I already talked to you about before when I was talking to you. You got a very good confidence going on. Just make sure you use your confidence to slow down a little bit and then you're golden. Okay? So when you install the Active Directory, the RSAT tool, this gives you the power of managing most of the calls like Active Directory. And most of our issues in the beginning, level one person is given this type of process because people know that okay, if we give him something more than this, if we give him our third-party tools or how we did things, this guy's gonna run away from us. So why not we give him something that he already know, and why not we give him something that's more processed than just troubleshooting all the time. So this is not troubleshooting, by the way. This is you knowing the process, repetitive process, right? You add users again and again. You reset passwords again and again. Now in the beginning it may sound like troubleshooting, but if you look at it, once you do a few things, it's repetitive work. And this is the reason you're a help desk, you're level one, because sysadmins and network engineers or IT managers, that's why they hire you. Right? So they move on to more technical stuff, they move on to more projects while you do more repetitive stuff. When you get better, you move on to more advanced stuff, and that's where your career grows. A lot of people in the beginning think that, oh, I really need to be some technical guru for this to be solving this stuff. No, it's repetitive processes and businesses, and you just do it repetitively again. Does that make sense? And troubleshooting part is there, of course. That's not, we're not going to say that, oh, you're not going to troubleshoot. You're definitely going to troubleshoot, and that's why you're a technician. But that's not something that you can master anywhere, at any level, any years of experience. I have 13 plus of years of experience. I'm pretty bad at troubleshooting. So I go to Google, I go to vendors, I go ask another technician. So that's something we can get away with. It's not a problem. You can always find something. But yeah, or you Google it. Yeah, definitely ask for help first, because your coworkers already been through this stuff. So they're just gonna quickly tell you this is not so I'm not sure. But remember, in IT, it's a normal, it's natural. People get annoyed. So if you ask them something basic twice, three times, four times, the person's like, man, this guy's not getting it. This guy doesn't get technology right here. We got a problem right here. And they're going to complain to their managers because they got to work, they got to finish tickets. And now you're a burden on that on top of this team. You're going to have problems, right? So once this is done, it's installed. So where would you verify that RSAT is being installed on your machine? How would you verify that? How did you verify it on your domain controller? And how would you verify it on your client machine? Perfect. Uh-huh. Okay. That's a good point right there. How did you find it in the server? You used you use the term administrator. type it over here again and find it. See what happens. Did you find it? Good job. Is it there? How would you open it? How would you open Active Directory now? Alright, perfect, good job. So you see now your job just started right now, right? A lot of people, when they do trainings or when they provide trainings, and correct me if anyone can tell me, they don't do this process from the back end. They will never show you from scratch. It takes more time for me to do training and lose my energy, by the way. But once you know that process that you just did, to be honest, I feel like now you know Active Directory more than before. If you would have given a pre-built Active Directory machine and you were giving our set skills or training, you would still not understand many things because you did not see how that house was built. Does that make sense? So a lot of people don't do this. Why? Because they don't want to invest that energy. And we do this because that's our main thing. I want to basically clear that with people. This is how training should be. Go from the scratch, go from the bottom. But tell the person, this is not your skill, this is not your area, this is not your area. I'm going to show you, I'm going to explain to you a little bit. But later on, you can come back and become a master in this area. But you don't need to worry about it. Now, when you know the whole house structure was built this way. So now, if somebody called you that we need to add Kevtech because he's our new employee, where should you go first? And if this was your job and you had to add user every single day, what can you do to make your life easier? How do you make it sure? Right? So if you lose that desktop shortcut right now, what you just did, you totally removed it from administrative tools. You got to remove a problem. Does that make sense? Always copy or take a shortcut of it, or open it and on the right side on the bottom, right click and pin it. That's the easy way. If you pin it, it's already there, right? So now here's a question for you. And now we're going to end this whole thing, but this is a very, very important question. A lot of people miss this. And people can tell me this in the chat right now. If I tell Abdul that you need to know about the basics of group policy, is that sysadmin level stuff or he should know? What do you guys think? I want to know some comments. Anybody else? What do you guys think? Should Abdul know the basics of group policy, which you will never see in A plus, which you will never see in any entry-level trainings? People don't even touch group policy. And I'm saying that I'm asking you guys, should he know the basics of group policies over here? Ah, that's a great point right there, both of you. And this is the reason people should know about group policy, because when you deal with Active Directory so much, it doesn't make any sense for you to not know about group policy and how this company how this company have designed their threshold, how this company have designed how the password complexity is done. Why is that important? Because you as a level 1 person is going to be picking up that first call, and the person is going to say, you gave me the temporary password, I'm changing the password to ABCD my cat. It's not working, right? Now, how would you as a tech explain that to the person? You've got to understand your policy right there, or else you will be kind of like in pause mode, right? Because you don't know, and the person don't know, and you're gonna have to go to your technicians. But if you knew about it, you got more confidence right there. You can fix things quickly. So this is where group policy is very important. Right with Active Directory, I like to teach group policy at that level because as soon as you added that domain users, you are already working on group policy. That account lockouts, that can happen, or people can call you that, hey, what is the length of the password that I need to use? These are all level 1 questions, by the way. This has nothing to do with level 2. It's nothing to do with this. People are going to call you, how many characters can I use? This and this and this. They're going to give you just crazy questions. And if you don't know this kind of basic stuff, then of course you're stuck, right? So how would you know about group policy? So let's say in this case we're not installing group policy on this machine. I want to give you access to a domain controller. So find the group policy on the domain controller. Good job. Okay, so now the question is, how can you find that policy where it says that you can have this many characters of password or account settings? How can you find it? And you can ask for help. You can say, I need a sysadmin help, or you can ask me. Anybody? Cool, good job. Perfect. Perfect. Where should you go to find that? Perfect. You see it right there, right? 7 days, something like 7 times. Remember that? Now go down. This was down. It's down some more. There you go. So this is what you need to do as a new technician. You're gonna go grab this image, grab the screenshot, put it somewhere. People are gonna call you. Because of this, because this is not even configured yet. People have strict group policy settings on it. After 5 tries, people are gonna get locked out. And then you're gonna have to do certain things to come back over here. Like, okay, people are gonna ask you, why is it locked? Why does it lock me out after 5 tries? Dang, right? You already know. You already know the issue. You already know where to go. Where to go for the solution. So I guess at this point, my tummy is definitely asking me to stop with my issues. So I am sorry I could not. I could not. It's not because I have that diverticulitis thing going on. So here's the thing. I want to ask everybody: did you guys like this skill testing process? So did you guys want to do something like this to go more advanced in this? Maybe future own your policy things like that. You guys want to do that? Okay. Now here's the last question. Would you guys hire him as an intern, or are you guys gonna give him a chance as a level 1 technician? Let's go one by one. Give your comments. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's tell him the reality in things because that's where he's gonna be good. That's where he's gonna get better. Would you hire him as an intern or level 1 technician? Anybody else? All right. Anyone else? Yeah, so my side, I'm definitely gonna hire you as a loan because you definitely showed a lot of confidence. You knew the basics. You just need to kind of like slow down and maybe understand the core a little bit more. Like IP addresses were definitely something that I would thought that maybe you should know the loop, the difference between loop and IP address. You should definitely know that, right? So that's just extreme basics. Like you had a little trouble finding out what is the normal IP address of a machine, right? So that's just too basic, right? So the rest of it you can learn RSAT and stuff like that. But this type of stuff, you just want to make sure you take that as a positive thing and expand the knowledge on IP addresses. Does that make sense? Now, where can you learn that? By the way, we have a full free course, IP Fundamental V1.0. It's a free course, free. Every single thing that you just touched, most of this stuff is covered in it. So, in theoretical, right? The LAN, DHCP, DNS, all that stuff is covered right there. Free. You just need to invest that time. Okay? So anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and let's go back to our normal life. Thank you. All right. All right, bye-bye. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Abdul, you can message me directly.